Hey everyone, it's me, Ariel. Welcome to the show. I'm Gio and you're watching AO Mecha Live.
Hey, good evening guys, and welcome to another episode of Backlog Builder. No, it's not. It's Feature Builder Night tonight. Bet you were. What day is it even, man? I'm so confused half the time. But tonight we have a new Feature Builder episode. It's gonna be a fun one tonight. And I'm still like rubbing off the silliness from my conversation earlier with our guest. Man, this guy is hilarious, but with that whole strong face thing going on. Geo Builder is joining us tonight. A quick thing about Geo Builder. I think I didn't even follow him not that long ago, but like when I started checking his Instagram, checking out his work, checking out his YouTube videos, very cool dude, lots of cool work, super clean, but like also very professional in regards to the style and presentation of it. So I was really taken in awe of that. And some of the stuff that I worked on for my content actually is somewhat like, I won't say inspired, but like definitely taken some little bits and pieces of like how he presented his stuff. Really clean stuff. He is also part of the USA Gundam Store build team. Really cool guy out there from Connecticut, New England, in the stateside. Right now I am in Toronto, Canada. My name is Ariel and you are watching AO Mecha Live. Just a quick thing about his intro. Did that look like me? Did he get the whole AO Mecha feel? I'm kind of curious about that. So we're gonna have a chat with Geo, and we're gonna get to know this builder. We're gonna get to know some of his work. We're gonna check out some of his stuff here. Very much looking forward to chatting with him. But also before we get to that, we just want to say hi to everybody watching at Facebook Live and YouTube Live. Facebook people are still coming in. We have Joseph Ryan Ladin joining us at Facebook, and over at YouTube we have R13, we have Kyle, we have Ranny, we have Vince, we have Nicholas Tejada Sanchez, and that's the first Nicholas Tejada Sanchez drop for the night. And and yeah, more are coming in. Guys, you guys are gonna have fun tonight. I'm gonna have fun tonight. I can't wait to chat up with Geo here. So why don't we bring him in? Let's go say hi to Geo. Geo, good evening and welcome to the show, man.
Ariel, what's going on, brother?
Oh, dude,
that was a far too kind introduction. So.
Oh no! You're a far too kind individual, and it's definitely, you know, vice versa when it comes to that. Thank you for coming into the show tonight and joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. We're gonna be talking a lot about your I guess your builds, but more so importantly, just a forewarning for everyone here, guys. Geo is one of the first responders as his job, but because of some restrictions to his work, we are not going to be touching base on that because of the restrictions of social media and information. So I do apologize, but at the same time, I think you guys all understand. And again, Geo, thank you so much for your services and your help to the community.
Oh, thank you so much, man.
Awesome.
Yeah, no problem.
So for those of you guys who don't know who Geo is, maybe Geo, if you don't mind, why don't we talk about your background, your history in the perspective of the hobby? Maybe some of your stories of your first kits, or like, you know, what was your first thing that you painted, that kind of stuff. So why don't I throw that to you and let the world know a little bit about Geo.
Yeah, I mean, like every other kid whose parents love them, it all started with Lego, right?
Nice.
But I never actually had a Lego set. I remember going to a tag sale with my parents and buying like a huge like tub of just Lego pieces, just bricks and characters, and that was my like first introduction to building anything, but there was no instructions, so it was all whatever was in my imagination at the time.
Right.
After that, I think it was a Erector sets that was like metal pieces that had like nuts and bolts.
Oh, I remember that. It's like before the Technics or something that came out.
Yeah,
right?
It was like actual, like you gave kids tools to put stuff together. The first model that I ever had experience with was an airplane with my father. He was actually an MP in the Air Force, and I guess ever since then he had this like infatuation with airplanes. So I remember watching him like build airplanes, and I don't remember watching him paint them, but and then of course I ended up getting into like Gundam kits when I was a kid, but they were like the no grade HG. Like,
do you remember
old school
the series of or which Gundam it was that you started off with?
No, I mean the series was Gundam Wing, like every other American is going to tell you. That's basically what I knew about.
Nice.
But what got me, I guess, to where I am now, it wasn't but 3 years ago, and I 100% blame my wife for my Gunpla addiction today. So that is 100% her fault. she actually called me out in regards to video games, and she was trying to argue that she was better than I was at Super Mario, right?
And were you?
So we have...
No, that's a trap question. That is a trap question.
So I don't know how we got into this train, like this train wreck of she's better, I'm better. So I end up doing research, and I find like an old like retro gaming store that wasn't too far from where I live. Right. And I go inside to get the Nintendo, Mario. Like I was adamant, like we're doing this, like the weekend is over. This is what we're doing. And sure enough, one of the employees there was a kid that I went to high school with, and we started chatting. And I didn't have kids back then, so I had all the time in the world to waste and just talk to this guy. And during the conversation, he goes, "Hey, can you help me bring some boxes from the back?" Because everyone else was on lunch. I said, "Yeah, no problem." And sure enough, we have a hand cart full of boxes, and it was Gundam kits inside. And it was just the most nostalgic thing ever. I was like, wow, like they still make these things? And it was like, yeah, you ever built one? And I was like, yeah, when I was a kid. And sure enough, he gave me 3 kits to build for the store.
Oh, wow.
For like their little like IKEA, like Deltolf case or whatever. But I had no idea what I was doing, because when I was a kid, I used to just break the pieces off with my hands and put them together. So when he told me, hey, can you put them together? I'm like, I don't think this is going to look good, because I'm just going to, break them off. And the worst part was the kits he gave me were 3 really like not so beginner kits. So my first
Do you remember them? Okay, yeah, you do remember them.
Were HG Build Strike, right? The HG Black TriStar Zaku 2 Sniper.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And the HG Full Armor Thunderbolt. That was...
Oh my God. I built that recently too. And I know how intricate that can be, man.
So I go home. No, all he said was, hey, pick anything that catches your eye that we have more than one of. And then he just gave me more, right? So I get home, I set up the Nintendo, and I have the box on my lap. And I'm like, oh, this will be easy. While my wife is playing, I'll just, break these pieces off.
Right.
I said, while she's building, I'll be able to just, put it together. Good. Sure enough, I was absolutely wrong. And then I went on YouTube and I found Zach's channel, Zach Aurelius's channel, and that's what got me where I am as far as tutorials and stuff. Because
dude,
that would have been bad.
That is an amazing story. We're gonna head over to the arena real quick here and just start kind of like taking some photos and going through some of your gallery here. But before we do that, really knee deep into that, I just want to say, guys, thank you for joining our show tonight. Welcome to AO Mecha and the AO Mecha Live. We're here joined by Geo Builds. I just want to say that there's a couple people on YouTube right now that are just joining in. We have Julio joining us, G Keto joining us. Let's see, Miguel is joining us as well. Mike Skyers. Oh my God, lots of people are coming in now. Really cool. Thanks guys for coming in. We got Hasaki Art. Again, nice. Thank you for coming. This guy has been popping up, so guy, thank you for coming to the show. Julio, Miguel got another crush. Oh yeah, no, we're gonna be talking about man crushes tonight. It's gonna be fun. Looking for all the boys. There we go. Miguel, haha, I'm speeding. Spreading that Gunpla Simp love. Oh yeah, here we go. Gundam Junkie is around. Here. Gundam Junkie, again, up and coming YouTuber as well. Give him a like and check out his stuff, guys. And yeah, more people are joining in, guys. Thank you. Tonight we are joined by Geo Builds here, and we're gonna go through a little journey with him. And I talked with you a bit about this before the show, Geo. We're gonna be mainly focusing about your builds, obviously, but like kind of like a journey that you had in mind already to go through. So what I have right now on the screen is just a sample of some of the stuff you worked on. This is your Instagram, guys. If you're not following Geo Builds, it's in the description below. Check them out. And also, if this is your first time in the channel, please hit that like and subscribe button to get notifications of new content and when we are streaming for shows like this, for example, and meet some of our builders and work on kits, talk shop, that kind of stuff. Everything mecha, everything Gunpla. So getting back to our program here, Geo, the first couple of slides here are your GM. So why don't we start with that journey and then kind of walk us through what you have for us here.
So this is my absolute first ever fully painted kit.
Nice.
And it was for the Gunpla Builders Association's cannon fodder build off back in, I think it was 2017 or like beginning of 2018.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I had went through YouTube. I ended up finding like Zach Aurelius's page, Justinius Builds, and that's how I learned about this contest. And it was a first of many for me. It was the first time I used an airbrush on a kit. First time I thought I had, knew what I was doing, weathering. And I really just took on this, like, I took way too much on my plate is what you're looking at here, right? Like it was so much, but that was the contest that Brian won, Bro Builder won with the Zaku with the blue wings.
Now you gotta fight Bro Builder again. Now, Brian, if you are watching, Gio is coming after you. That is another throwdown at your way. So
no. So check it out, right? I had, like any other competition I enter, I have very little like intention of winning. This was just like, I just wanted to be a part of something, right? Right. I wanted to get into this hobby. I wanted to be a part of it. And that's kind of where I started. But no lie, after seeing like Bro Builders build, it totally like set a fire underneath me to show like how much growth there is in this hobby, like how much more you can learn, absolutely, and all the different techniques, where like a younger me would have been so discouraged and be like, dude, I'm never building again. Like mine is crap compared to what this winner put together. But it really, kudos to Bro Builders, just talent and his creativity, because that's what really got me to learn more, you know what I mean? And what you'll see in the next couple builds is just, instead of me trying to take so much on in one build, I just started from the basics and just kept going and going.
So with this GM build, a couple of questions do arise. How did you do the scorch marks and the weathering? Like, what was your approach in, being that this is your first time attempt kind of thing? Like, so what was your approach? And I want to ask also, what were your lessons learned? Like some of the important ones that you think would be the highlight of what you took from this kit.
I learned that I do not like weathering, which is why you almost never see weathering. Yeah. I try to do like a sponge technique. I took some like a German gray Tamiya acrylic paint, did a quick like sponge. I tried doing a gunk wash, but I couldn't find Starship filth, so I ended up using like a wrong shade of a oil paint, and all the damage was with my Dremel. I ended up taking like my Dremel and doing little like holes for bullet damage and cutting the disc in there. I kind of just went crazy with it because I was like, hey, let me just see what I can do. And like I said, it was a good time. Like, I'm grateful. I still have it on my display case because I think it's important that you never forget like where you came from, and you know what I mean, and just hold on to those builds. But I think one day I'll have to do that kit again and then just try to apply all the things that I know now to it.
It looks really, really awesome. I mean, like for I guess your first attempt at any of these things here, a lot of people will probably have the same journey, and it's kind of good to get like a different perspective, but at the same time, that same learning curve that everybody tends to go to. Especially me, what I could relate with this one is just like the whole weathering, making sure that it's onto scale, application, and like, sometimes there is a thing called too much weathering, right? And from the looks of it here, dude, really good execution on this one. Love the color scheme as well. Was this your original color scheme that you were trying to tackle on this, or were there any iterations prior to that?
No, actually before it was like a weird brown and like green color, and I ended up going with the tan, like more of like a desert design. There's so much paint on that kit. Like if you were to feel it, it weighs a lot, because I used like the Tamiya aerosol primer on there. It was, oh man, yeah, it was a rough go, but I don't know, it changed my my perception of how I build now, where subjectively, right, it was still like the best build I had ever done up until that date, but like objectively it still wasn't good enough from a technical standpoint. And so moving forward, I was like, I don't care if it's the best that I've done, is it technically like considered good or clean? And that's where I really started challenging myself to, it really
shows, you know too, I mean? Dedication and all that stuff too, right? Like,
because I don't know, I take it, it's a hobby, right? It's your free time. So like I take pride in my free time, because like every hour that I spend building was an hour that I could have spent like with my kids or with my wife. So like I try to make sure that I make that time count, and I have this cool like tangible piece of art, so to speak, that I can hold on to.
And it's also one of a kind, because number one, you made it. Number two, no one else has done anything like this. So that is awesome. Moving to the next slide here, we have the Mark II. And from this perspective, though, quick question, like, how long have you been in the hobby now, would you say?
So all jokes aside, I've been on Instagram for 3 years. So I've been probably in this hobby solid 3 years. Maybe maybe more towards like the end of 2017. So you're looking at like 2.5 solid years of like hardcore like Gunpla hobby. You know what I mean? I was never really huge on like the anime. I'll be honest. Sorry, don't kill me in the comments.
They will. We'll make sure of that. But
it was, you know what it is though, and I think you can attest to this. Before you were in this hobby, if you weren't in the hobby scene, it just wasn't on your radar. You don't really go to stores and you see these kits. So until you open up that part of your life to it, now it's everywhere you go. It's like, oh look, I can use that, or I can use this. Like you start implementing day-to-day items. So
is that how you see it too? Like when you start tapping onto like, at first the same here too. It's like at first I thought I was the only one in the hobby, and then with social media being making it easy to connect a lot of people all over the world, it just kind of like brings this whole level of networking and community to life. And that's how we found each other, and that's like through internet, social media, Instagram, that kind of stuff. But beyond that, like the like for the hobby, I think your passion is definitely there as well, which is really good. So now that we're at the Mark II Gundam here, how many? I guess I don't know. Like, what's time different? Are we going in any linear at all, or is it kind of like your projects in no particular order?
No, these are legitimate. Everything that I sent you is in order. So after that GM, it was directly that MK2.
To the Mark II. Nice.
And what I ended up doing with the Mark II was trying to learn how to actually airbrush clean. So I was like, hey, here's my attempt. Instead of taking on too much, I focused 2 things on this build. One was airbrushing and color separation. Right. I had watched a lot of YouTube videos and they were like, yeah, color separation's good. So that's where I put like some gray with the white, and the blue I had actually custom mixed. So I was happy about that. I made my own Titans blue kind of out of some Tamiya colors, because I
what were the paint colors or like I guess brands you were leaning on when you were doing your first airbrush?
It was Tamiya acrylics. That's all that was kind of available to me, and I didn't know about like Mr. Color. I didn't know about lacquers. And honestly, it was what I was seeing on YouTube, those videos, and people saying like, hey, this is less toxic. This is a beginner thing. Like, not knowing any better, I was like, all right, let me just follow these steps and figure it out. And I till this day, I love the Mark II. That was a really like fun build. I would love a 3.0 Mark II.
Oh, can you imagine, guys? That would be really good.
I would love that. But yeah, that was like my first attempt. Hey, let's do a clean build and let's try to do a custom paint color. And I think I did all right with that one. That was a fun paint job for me.
Any paint job is a fun paint job, guys. It's really subjective, and for as long as you're having fun, man, that's all that matters. That is awesome. The next up on the screen here, I think it's still the Mark II, but we're looking at inner frame painting. Or is this
separate? That was what I posted on Instagram. That was the first time I tried using metallics. So like I wanted to make sure that I took a picture of it. So that was my Instagram post for it when I thought I was cool posing it that way.
Nice. No, it looks really, really good. And again, you're very big on Instagram as well, like posting with your work and whatnot. And guys, check him out. Again, the description for his Instagram is at literally his name below. So check it out.
But what's funny about that picture is the legs are on backwards.
What?
And no one ever called me out on it. So if you look at the larger thruster is like on the inside of the leg, and it should have been on the outside. And I didn't figure that out until after I posted it, and no one has ever called me out on it. So.
Okay, guys, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna find that Instagram post, go over to this stuff, and start commenting on how much of a noob he is. No, we're not like that in the community, and that's a really cool part about our community. I forgot who I was talking to about this, but definitely I was talking with like Simon Lamb, Andrew, and all those guys from the Canada side. When I started Instagram as well, this is like actually March that I rebranded my Instagram that's been alive for like 2 years at least or whatever to AO Mecha. And I did also do something like what you did, but like totally on purpose. There's a couple of photos there that I've taken a piece off, or like I omitted a piece off, and surprisingly, like those are some of my higher like counts. And no one has ever called me out, except for one. I forgot who it was, but somebody called me out on one. And I was like, oh, yeah, you're right. And then I sent him a DM, like, hey, you caught me. You're one of the first. And I think I sent him like a sticker price. Kind of like, hey, congratulations, you found my Easter egg. And I still do it till this day, but not as frequent. So maybe that's something you would do as well, man.
Yeah, it's funny. I forgot that I had even done that until I was putting it together finally. I was like, oh man, these legs are on backwards. And I was like,
no,
And nobody did, because I was brand new at that time. So nobody cared.
Oh man. Before we get to the next slide, I just want to say, guys, thank you for watching AO Mecha Live. We're here with Geo Builds. And I just want to say hi to everybody at YouTube land. We have a couple of people commenting here. I just want to make sure that we are acknowledging you guys because you guys are making the show awesome. Thank you for joining us. We have, let's see here, we have Julio still here. He's saying hashtag Gunpla Simp. That's for Miguel, of course. Rinaldi Studio is here. Dude, Michael is in the house. I just want to say hi. He's also a feature builder from a past episode. Go check him out.
Hey, he's a beast, man. This guy has some talent, man.
Amazing guy, man, and very humble. So much fun to talk with, man. And that's the thing, like I think a lot of the theme of the builders that I've had a privilege to contact with, especially you, Michael, Mike Skyers, everybody that's on that list, has been one thing that's common is you guys are very knowledgeable, very humble, and very professional in your approach. So again, thank you guys for doing that. Continuing on, we have Mike Skyers still here. We got Gunpla Razi, Christopher. What's up, man? Hailing from Atlanta.
What's going on?
We have Jan Juvenko. Happy Saturday, everybody. And oh man, there's just a lot of stuff going on. Mobile Suit Hanger is here. That sexy Barbados torso. I think he's talking about you, man. Just saying.
Thank you.
Nicholas Tejada Sanchez saying that the Mark II looks awesome, and the Mark IIs, the Gundams, is one of his favorites line as well. So definitely that's a big thumbs up for Nicholas Tejada Sanchez. Yeah, Ariel never calls you on build mistake. Yeah, Ariel never calls you on build. I call him out all the time. G Kito and Choco Falcon is here. David, how's it going, dude? We got some big names on the chat tonight, guys.
Got some heavy hitters in there.
So you better not F up this show, man, because like seriously, everything's on your line right now, man.
All right,
you're my make and break.
All right,
let's continue on. The next one here, we have something a little bit different. We have a high grade here. This is the Astray No Name, I believe.
Yes, so I have a really like hardcore saying. Those of you guys who know me, I always say MG or no G, right? I'm not a fan of HGs at all.
Oh man, here we go.
Hey, I like just having that larger scale to work with, and I just enjoy the more intricate builds. I like having more parts. I'm crazy like that. I like sanding and snipping more parts. But after watching it was Build Divers, right? The most recent series.
Right.
I saw the No Name and I was like, oh, that thing is tight.
But I hated
the color. Yeah, I hated the color that it was molded in. It was some weird like cranberry color. So for this one, I tried to do like a metallic red. So that was I think like Alclad.
Which is more towards the traditional Astray, like the Astray red frame, for example, right? So
yes, and I tried to mimic that. I did it the hard way. I would call it the hard way. I used Tamiya like clear red, and it's like a billion shades or layers of Tamiya clear red. And
nice.
One of my good friends said to never use like pure black on a kit.
Absolutely.
So that was the first time I tried like shading anything. So I left it at that. I've never changed the pose of that kit. I just left them there with like the Clint Eastwood, like nice coverall.
Kind of like a shroud thing going on.
Yeah, the duster. The only thing I don't like about that kit is the neck. I don't know if you've ever built it. The neck is like very giraffe. So I always just keep his head like as low as possible, or else he looks really weird. But
right.
That was one HG that I was able to deal with.
And a couple of questions arise on this one. When you were pre-shading, did you do the black shade first, or did you do the reverse? That's something what Brian was mentioning, the pre-highlighting. Which approach did you use for this guy?
If I could remember for the blacks, I just remember using all black and then really thinning out some, I think it was German gray, and like thinning it out a lot and just feathering it on top of that. So I think that's how I did it, just that post color on top.
Right.
Nowadays, I'll usually like start with like black primer. I'll hit the highlights with like white primer, and then I'll just cover over that. And then sometimes, like we could talk about it later, but on the Barbatos, I did it totally different, which was fun.
Awesome. And then you said this is your first time using the metallic Alclad. Is that for the reds?
So I've got my hands on the Alclad's chrome,
right?
And that was the base, but the red was just tons of layers of Tamiya clear red acrylic.
Oh wow! Yeah, it turned out really, really well. Again, and your top coats. Like, do you have any choices or leaning towards when you were finishing off your kits?
Back then, I was using Tamiya's spray can stuff, either their gloss or their matte finish.
Nice. The next couple of photos coming up here is the GM Sniper. Again, one of my favorites for the grunt units. This is the master grade, I believe. You went back to master grade.
I went back to master grade.
And so why don't you tell us about this journey on the GM?
So I had a lot of fun with the no name, and I was like, all right, it's time to try to do metallics or a shine on a larger scale.
Right.
That kit was I used like a chrome paint, and then the blue was actually like a blue tint. I used Splash Paints. I don't know if you ever heard of them. They're really good for like automotive colors and stuff. They have an aqua blue tint, and it was just multiple layers of aqua blue tint to get that. And I actually used a 2K gloss. So that was the first time using 2K. There's still like orange peel in a lot of places.
Is it because of the pressure that you use? Like, I'm just kind of curious. Like, I've not used this brand before, so I'm kind of like want to get like a little bit more. What do you think happened? Kind of.
So 2K itself, 2K gloss is like a urethane. So you have to mix it. You have your activator and your actual like high gloss. I think it was just me not fully understanding 2K itself, and I was using a $20 Amazon Masters airbrush to do that.
Oh man, all right, baller here.
Listen, a lot of these kits I used really crappy tools and materials, even when like known builders, like Gbwc Entrance and everyone were like, get a better airbrush or use better paints. I was like, I can do it with crap. Like, I want to, you know what I mean? Like, when you get your license, you don't just jump in a Ferrari, you know what I mean? You drive something and that was my thing. I was like, I think I can do this with a crappy airbrush. And I did.
This is your Civic pretty much, right?
Yeah, I did it in a Civic. It was a hatchback. And,
nice.
But no, I love that. It's so shiny. It always looks wet. It always looks glossy. The only thing is I should have panel lined it before I 2K'd because the panel line it never stuck. So that's a cool kit that I should have panel lined.
Right. A lot of it is all learning experience. I'm sure in the next couple of slides here, we're going to start looking at a little bit more experimental, again, continuing in a little bit more detail. What would you say would be your achievement from this project? What was your highlight?
My highlight was the fact that those were all individual pieces, and I had to make sure that I applied that tint evenly for each and every piece so that it mattered. Like, you're looking at like 6 coats per piece to get that blue that matches the Bandai plastic. And I was really proud that if you look at that kit, you wouldn't be able to tell that it wasn't just one color. Like, I actually had to like layer that on and build it up. So I was pretty proud of that.
Nice. And the last photo here from that set, this is the Instagram photo that you did here. It has a very nice shine finish to it too. So that, how many coats of final gloss? Did you even buff that thing? It looks anime almost.
So I didn't buff it because it is that like 2K high gloss. It's basically like the same kind of clear coat that like cars have.
Right.
If I go back and buff it, I'll probably be able to get rid of some of the orange peel. But you need like such high grit, like stamping. You need like 10,000 grit, 20,000 grit.
Yeah.
And I'm good with how it looks right now. But it's cool. It's a pretty boy. I love GMs. If you haven't figured it out by now, my logo is a GM head. I've built almost every GM. So I got a thing for grunt suits.
Look at this guy, grunt, front line. Everything awesome on this one. We're gonna swing back to the duel for a second here. Gio, this journey has been really cool so far. Like, we're going from the start to like now your experimental stage. We're gonna have a little bit more photos from Gio, but first we're gonna take a quick look at our online people here. And again, some people are saying hi from Facebook Live, and a lot of people also in YouTube. Just want to go back and say hi to everyone here. Lots of stuff here. Hasaki is saying nothing wrong with the 2.0. I think they are talking about the Mark II earlier on. Let's see here. G Keto is playing NBA 2K19 while watching. That we are the best background music for these guys.
Okay, I can dig that. I can dig that. Yeah.
Choco Falcon made a comment here. Cool stuff, by the way. Mark II looks clean, super white. That's coming from a GBWC champ. That is awesome.
Hey, I
man.
appreciate that. I can go to sleep a happy man.
Hey, Hasaki Art, morning or evening to you. It is good morning as well to our friends over at Asia. Guys, thank you so much for joining us during your breakfast out there. Hope you guys are having a good Sunday. Quinn, he's saying that, ooh, so nice blues to your GM there, looking really good. And then from Kyle here, my son is a GM nut too. Oh, that's awesome. And R13 loving that GM sniper build. And man, lots of people definitely are loving your work so far. That is great. Speaking of work and people and communities, like the community that we have here on YouTube, you guys are amazing. Thank you for tuning in, especially the returning ones. And for those who are new to the channel, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button so you get notifications of new content and streaming, like meeting builders like Geo over here. We're gonna do a quick break. Yeah, this guy, look at this smile. Seriously, I was telling him before the show, like, dude, does your smile come with a volume control? Man, you and Ryan Lau we're gonna have a smile off. Yes, first ever AO Mecha Live smile off between Ryan Lau and this guy right here, Geo Builds, for the community. And anyways, we're gonna go to a quick commercial and we'll be right back with more from Geo Builds. Stay tuned. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to the stream, and hopefully you guys are enjoying the show so far. I just want to let you guys know about an amazing online community that I'm part of, and it's called Side 6. Here, you will find like-minded modelers and hobbyists who enjoy the mecha and gunpla genre. We encourage posting of whips, projects, and tutorials to help each other move forward in our hobby and in our community. We are always open to new members of all skill levels, so come check us out at facebook.com/groups/side6. We also have an Instagram where we feature members' works, and you can find that at instagram.com/side6_mecha. For all new club information, resources, and news, you can check out our website at www.side6.club. All right, let's get back to the show and see what's going on there. All right, welcome back, guys. We are joining live here with Geo. Geo, again, thank you for joining us on our show tonight. And man, the stories so far have been really good. Again, inspiring for especially those guys that are just starting off. I think this is definitely one of those like up and coming stories. We're now approaching teenager. Oh my god. Oh man, we're gonna go back to the arena and let's start taking a look at your next build here. The ball. This is the MG ball, because I have built one of these several times already. It is one hell of a kit. What did you think of this? Like, what's going on here? Tell me a story, man. What's going on with this ball?
So that I would say that was one of my failures in painting.
Oh wow, okay.
But I'm proud of it. I did not know that once you put all those armor pieces on, they're on, right? I put so much paint and detail on the inner frame of that ball. Yeah. And I was like, let me just put this together because I haven't seen it together, and I'll take off the pieces and I'll take pictures later. And I never was able to. So
do you have any photos at all?
No. I think I have like one early photo. So I no longer put kits together before I paint them because I've broken so many pieces doing that. So I literally will just I'll snip the pieces, clean them, paint them, and at the end, I'll finally put it together. And that was one of those builds where I was like, I want to see what this looks like. And I could not get those pieces off without destroying. So that was one failure on my part. But I'm going to get another one. A good friend of mine, Justinius Builds, actually sent me the clear armor parts for that ball. So I will be able to redo the inner frame, and then there's clear armar parts.
I didn't even know there was clear parts for this.
So it was I guess it was like a P Bandai or 40th anniversary something, and he gave them to me.
Oh man. When somebody else gives you balls, man, you take it. Right? You take his balls, man. You take that clear balls and you play with it, all right? You want to see everything inside.
You tell Justin that those are mine now. Yeah, they're mine now.
Sorry, Justin's balls. Oh, it's gonna be that kind of show. We're PG-13 here, guys. Oh my god.
Man. You took it there. You definitely took it there.
But so definitely lessons learned on that one. a lot of people do tend to detail their inner frames, and that is really, really cool. Because I think that's a whole part of the process, right? Like, you know, if you get a chance to take a photo before you close it up, I think that is also important. I can't wait to see your oh.
Thank you. Yeah.
See some of Gio's balls next. All right. Moving along, we have another Mark II, but this time it's a Titans color.
Yes.
What do we got here?
So what you have there is the RG Mark II, and I love that kit. Like, I absolutely loved the kit.
Right.
I painted that. That was my first, one of my first times using Mr. Color paints, lacquers.
Oh,
so I
transitioned
transitioned into lacquers, and those are Delphi decals. And that was actually the first kit that I ever entered into an IPMS contest, and I actually won a gold medal with that RG. That is probably the cleanest thing I've ever painted, like, up to date. Like, even nowadays, like, that was what I learned on that kit. A good friend of mine, he's also on Instagram, Loomis Builds. He taught me how to, like, get rid of the edges on decals. So, you know, when you put a water slide decal on, sometimes if you just put like thin layers of top coat, you're still going to see like those edges.
Right. Yeah.
And he was like, nah, man, you got to do like 3 layers of clear coat, and then you hit it with matte coat.
Yeah.
And that was the first time that I was able to really, like, now I know how to get rid of the edges on decals. So, like, they lay flat. There's like 150 decals on that tiny guy.
I was gonna say the RG, and I was just looking. I was tilting my head because I wanted to get a bigger photo and on my screen here, and I'm like, the 2 things I noticed. 1, RG, definitely a smaller scale than your master grade. I'm gonna have a question on that one. And number 2, in regards to your clear coat, from Nicholas Teada Sanchez, he and I were having discussion about clear coats and decals. What we came to an agreement is using the Tamiya clear can, like spray can. Has a better gloss coverage to seal or mask the edges of your decals more so than the Mr. Color Clear. So I was gonna say, for the clear coat, what did he say that you were using for this now? Like, which brand was it?
So I used the Mr. Color Super Gloss 3. It's like that thick syrupy one, and like the blue. The Super 3. And I think I did like a tack coat, and then like 1 or 2 like wet coats. And then to mat it out, it was the GX 114, which is that super like flat finish. So it wasn't bad, but I got to tell you, this is why I like master grades. That's
because I was going to say it's tiny. So
tiny, it's so small.
Going to the RG back from an MG. Well, the ball is kind of like a fairly sized kit, but like going back from the ball to the RG, like, did you like? What were your anticipation when you started working on it? Was there going to be a lot of like tiny works? Like, were there any challenges working back? Again, not only is it a high grade, it also has like a master grade amount of pieces, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of pieces in there. I only built that kit because my buddy like called me out, and he was like, do it on a smaller scale, like, stop being scared, you know, expand your horizons. So I did the Titans color, and he ended up doing like a Amuro Ray custom color. So we did it like side by side, which got me through it. But man, it was, the engineering was fun. Like, I recognize that if I just keep building GMs, I'm never gonna really see the true power of Bandai's engineering. Right. So I was kind of doing myself a little bit of a disservice. So getting that RG under my belt was really rewarding, because that's a really nice kit. Like, if you haven't built it yet, like, get it.
Yeah.
The only thing I didn't like on it was the hands, so I ended up using some of the HG part hands.
The build parts, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I really like my kits to just have like balled up fists. Like, I very rarely put like weapons in their hands or something like that. I just like that stoic, like, Vercop power look. So
yeah, no, it turned
there.
out really well. And again, with the RG line, like, again, it feels like a master grade, but in like a high grade scale. For those of you guys who have not built an RG kits, this is one of the recommended ones because it was a pretty solid build. It's a bit of an older kit, but it's also more the affordable side as well when it comes to that. And I was gonna say, for me, my biggest grip for the Mark II, and maybe this is just me, is those the vents you have to cut for the pipes. the sleeves for the pipes?
Yes.
I hated that so much.
So what I ended up doing was I took old beam sabers from kits,
Right.
and I ended up taking like just the tips of them and bending them so that the sleeve would actually be like full, because I hate how flat they look sometimes because there's no real like plastic piece.
Right.
So I was able to fix that. But yeah, those sleeves, that's tricky to cut because there's always like frays at the end of them.
Oh man, and the thing is, like, I think that to fix that, you have to like get a lighter or something and just kind of like melt the sleeves on that one. But again,
You just gotta be careful.
Be
Yeah, 'cause
careful
that'll
with
go
that.
up. Yeah.
All right. Moving on to the next one. Speaking of Array, we do have an RX-78 here. What do we got here? Tell me, Gio.
All right, so this was my first build for USA Gundam Store.
Nice.
Adam sent me the 3.0, and till this date, I had not built a RX-78 master grade, which was kind of crazy. This was my first master grade. I know, I'm a GM guy. I keep telling you this. So this was a fun build. I tried something really out of pocket. I tried to make this a custom Shars custom. And
that's the next slide. We're on there right now. We have the color scheme for it, but we're gonna be obviously working towards how you got here, and it's really cool. The Shar color that you got going here. Sorry, go on, Gio.
Yeah, no. So what I did is like I used third-party hands. I like those like master grade hands that are now like $1,000, and then I tried to. It's Gunpla Labs. I think that's the YouTube channel. They did a RG. What is it? The RG New Gundam with this exposed armor and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and
I remember that.
I tried to do that with the 3.0. The only thing is the 3.0 is one master grade that does not have a true inner frame. So I should have done that on a different build. So that's one of the coolest builds ever though. The engineering on that 3.0 is so cool. All the different panels and stuff. And I went in there and I didn't really like, so there's a P Bandai 3.0, but it's like pink. It's like a weirder pink. So I used different thrusters and used different reds, like reds that kind of popped. And that's like how I think the Red Comet would have wanted his color scheme to be more like a heavy red.
Red makes you go 3 times faster. That's science. That's facts right there.
Automatically. Right? you can't argue with that.
The one thing I noticed here, one of the photos, you have the backside of the RX-78 with thrusters. Obviously, those are not the stock thrusters. Where are they from, guys?
Those are the builder parts, the MG builder parts. I had to modify them a little bit to fit in there, but those are like they just seem so obnoxiously large. I'm like, these have to be the 3 times faster, like pun, right?
There we go.
This is what's gonna get them going that much faster. They're pretty cool. They're just hard to find now. Like I really wish that they would come out again. I think they're like Gundam base exclusive. Some people have told me that. So I do use them sparingly, but I was like, I gotta try something. And I wanted to learn how to like. It was my first attempt at like modifying a kit, right?
Nice. And I love the progression. Like the way you started off, and again the way you were explaining like your journey here, very, very cool. And I think a lot of people that build kits, regardless if they're veteran or they're new, they're gonna come across these types of styles, be it if it's a clean build or if it's a weathered build, open hatch, and kit bashing. So I love your examples, photos that you've shown so far. Question about the reds. I know you mentioned there's like several reds on this one. Are they all from the same brand? Did you start experimenting with something else?
Yeah, those are that whole build. Other than I think the chrome on the thrusters was SMS paints, which is the Australian brand. They're like pre-mixed. Those paints, and I'm not sponsored by SMS, right? They will make a beginner look like they're a pro. Like they are so easy to use. It's out of control. Like there's no guesswork. They lay down like super good. And what was cool is on the torso, it looks like there's 2 different colors, right? There's like that maroon and lighter one. That's just wine red over gray primer and black primer. So you can see like just the difference of your primer. And that's what I was kind of playing there. Like, let me use one color over 2 different primers and see how it reacts. Same thing with the reds. There's like 2 different reds, and then there's a progression of the primers that I used. So on the brightest of red, I used a pink primer to really make it pop. And then I put it over gray.
Oh,
like,
did you say pink primer?
Pink primer, yeah.
What? Oh man, that is dope, man. Pink primer. And what? That's not a Tamiya one, is it? Did they come out with the? No, they did come out with a pink
They do
one.
have a spray can. That was Mr. Finisher 1500.
The 1500 pink. Yeah.
And I just I made my own pink primer. I just added red.
I was
paint,
gonna say, no, I've
up.
seen pink before, but like I wasn't sure if it was. I'm pretty sure there was a Tamiya one, but like mixing that one with the primer, was it the clear pink or did you actually put an actual like?
I put like actual like MS or like something red, like one of like the Mr. Color, just a couple drops of red paint, just so it wasn't too pink. It was just like a light hue of pink.
Oh wow! And a 1500 surfacer, so that's very light.
Well, that's the only one that I could get that was white at the time. So I think white comes in 500, 1,000, and then like 1,500. I think I've never seen like a 1,200 like white primer. But
right.
that's what I went down. I pre-mixed it, and it worked out pretty well as far as making it pop. Red, to me, is still one of the harder colors to photograph. So I always have to like change the contrast, or else it looks either like way too bright or too dull.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was for another like competition build. I will tell you though, if you're gonna pick up a 3.0, use two hands and take the torso and the legs together, because if you pick it up by the waist, the legs are gonna fall.
Oh no way! Okay.
On the day of the competition, I picked it up to put it, and the legs fell, and the clear rods broke off, and I had to glue it while I was there. So handle with care. Handle the 3.0 with care, because you either have you can have like the core inside, like the core fighter on the inside, or like that block. And if you just pick it up just by the torso, it's gonna fall over. So be careful.
Okay.
Learn from my mistakes.
That is a PSA right there from Geo Builds. Just gonna do a quick thing over at YouTube Live. We have a couple of comments here. Let's start with DIY scribers. That's from Action Man. Any scriber alternatives like DIY scribers? I think they were just talking about like once you get further into that, you're gonna start looking into scribing, kit bashing, and all that stuff. He also says use broken needle, and someone mentioned also using a guitar pick to pry open your sealed panels so you don't break them. So that's another tip from where was that? I just saw it there.
Or like cutting like the male ends like at a 45-degree angle, so they don't go all the way
fully
in.
Snap,
Yeah.
Let's see here. Neon Wave. We Gundam fans love balls. Yeah, we do. Look at this guy here. He's getting clear ones. Those lenses are great. That's from Quinn, and I think that is from the previous slides we have there for the Mark II. Titans represent also from Quinn. He's a big Titans fan. Color scheme looks really, really great. From Jonathan Velasquez, I need a needle with wire cutters when you should have done some usable cheap too. I think they're just talking about different types of subscribers. Let's see here. Action Man 32. Don't worry, Ariel. I also hated those piping sleeves too. Man had frills on. Mine had frills on it. Yep. And RX-78. That's coming from Nicholas Tejada Sanchez. He loves the RX-78. Again, RX-78 Mark II grunt. He's all about that. Let's see here. Coming down from Hasaki. Pink primer has been around for a while, man. Nazca, which is a Gaia, makes them. Oh, okay, cool.
If you can find it, Nazca's primer is legit.
Hard to find it.
Yeah.
My Google just heard me ordering Nazca. No, don't order Nazca for me, please.
Find it, get it.
Also, last part here, Chris Pabs is in the house. Nazca is just Gaia's partnership surfacer with Naoki. Oh, did not look at all this informative people on our chat. Guys, thank you so much for joining our show tonight. We are joined here by Geo Builds, and we're going to continue on with his journey. What I think we'll do is we're going to go on to the GM, and then we're going to do a quick break on that, and we're going to finish up with the rest of the, I think, 3 more kits or 4 more kits after that. So the next slides I have here, Geo, I think this is starting off a new project, and I think this is the project from our promotional photo GM build.
So that is the Master Grade Cold District, GM Cold District. That's a P Bandai kit.
Bandai,
That was actually a fun build-off between me and Justinius Builds.
Nice.
And this is like my pride and joy build. There's a picture that I sent you with like the legs, and on the where the cabs would be, there's like thruster. It looks like there's thrusters in there. that was the first time I tried to mold like other parts onto the kit to make it look like it belonged. And I did that the absolute hardest way possible. Like that took so long to do.
Right now, Gio, we're at the chest unit and the waist unit. So there's a lot of like, it's very simple in colors, but like the details really pop. Like I'm looking at the skirt, I'm looking at the red crest on the top. I don't think that's stock. Did you do something to that?
I ordered that from Gundam UK's website. And I found that I ordered like the EFSF logos and the like the Xeon logos, and it's like a 3D printed part.
Right.
Which is funny. I got a lot of different feedback on that. Some people were like, "Hey, that looks awkward," and I was like, "Hey, I don't care. It's my kit." But this was the first build that I actually scribed anything on. So all the panel lines, that was all my first time. Which is why there's no like complex curves or anything like that.
The next.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say the next slide here. We were talking about complexity. We have a gun here, but this is not the stock gun either. This is a completely different gun.
That is Simpro's railgun. That was my first attempt at resin. Also, like so, a lot of learning here. I'm trying like I didn't want to like get a whole resin build and then hate resin. So I was like, let me just start with a weapon and we'll see where it goes. Really, really cool weapon. That was really fun. There's a lot of like pieces that fit really well, but I also learned a lot about resin, right? You got to be very careful with resin because it's softer than plastic, so you don't want to like sand details away. Masking that was pretty fun, and then using some glue. That's also the only, so anyone who likes master grade GMs, that's the only Simpro resin weapon that a GM can hold, because all the other weapons they have like butt stocks, and the way that a GM's hand and wrist is, it would never fit. So I had to go with something that was underneath. So
when we're working with resin, being that this is your first time on it, a couple of questions on that one. Was the resin, did it have any type of warping? Did you need to fill in any type of holes or like have to cut stuff? Like what was it like working with resin?
There were a few, like you're always gonna have like a little bit of like nubs or like resin skin, I call it, where like you just have to cut that part out and get rid of it. I think I only had to fill maybe 1 or 2 pieces, but it was nothing like extravagant, and it was in an area where like another piece would go on top.
Right.
But again, it being my first time, I reached out to people who I know, people in the community who I know like mess with resin. So like Chris Pavs is one of the guys that I'm always bothering. Like, hey, what do you clean your resin
He's
with?
bothering you right now, man. Yo, Chris, give me some words for Gio, man.
You know,
it's your time to shine. Roast fest.
Let's go. Like I'm always reaching out. Like you never want to be the smartest person in the room. That's one little tip that I would want to give anyone. Never be the smartest person in the room. Always reach out. And I got to say, there's great people in this community that have helped me along the way. I don't think anybody would get to where they are like on their own, right?
Absolutely, and that's and
so
we were just talking
knowledge.
about that they're the community right now being that you could like reach so many people and open to other styles, because there's like different regions have their different ways and techniques and products. So it's like not everywhere our product here is accessible and vice versa, right? There might be a product out there that they're using. For example, Europe has their own stuff. Asia has their own stuff. Like, you know, and we're getting them from like all over the places. Like right now, you got this from a UK-based print shop. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Right.
That resin rifle?
Yeah.
No, that was from Simpro models. I think
Simpro,
here in the US, yeah.
And the other thing too is like when you are working with resin, did you change up your paint style, as in like your priming or your painting application for it?
No, I changed up my sanding style though. So resin, if you sand it regularly, you're going to create a lot of dust, right? So safety first, I use my respirator and I just wet sanded everything, because wet sanding it kept all the dust, out from the air. So that was one thing that I did change up, was just making sure that I was safe. Not like
safety first,
with the resin. But no, I did my regular painting and it worked out really well. Yeah, I had no issues with it. So because of that, I built confidence and I purchased an actual full resin kit. So we'll get to that. We'll get to that one day. I don't know if I'm ready to tackle that just yet.
Man, just jump in, man. Just jump in.
I know, but I try to be cautious and I want to do things the right way.
Nice.
I had a lot of fun with that.
No, it looks like fun, because like we're now in the next photo here. Again, the GM has like a really nice white overall armor, but then we have this red arm going on here. Totally reminds me of C-3PO. But I'm not sure if that was what you were going for on that.
I like asymmetry every now and then. And that was a custom red. I mean, not necessarily. I basically just took, I think it was SMS premium red, and then I took Mr. Hobby's or Mr. Color's like neon red, which is more of like an orange, or a fluorescent red, which is like an orange, and I mixed that up, and it's like a really bright popping red. The same thing with the visor. So in order for me to get that visor red, because it's usually green, I went ahead and chromed it, and then I went out with like really thin layers.
So you actually painted the clear plastic from the inside or from the outside with the clear?
From the outside, because if I painted it from the inside, it would still have that green tint because it was green plastic. Right. So I did it from the outside.
Yeah, it turned out pretty good.
Which was fun. I added like the wave option part, like fuel tank.
Nice.
So it was fun, man. Some custom decals, and I'm really proud of that build. I really am. I think that was something that's definitely like my style in a nutshell. Like, if I'm going to do a custom build, it's not going to be like over the top, like my panel lines. I want them to be like functional panel lines. Like a lot of people talk about like, if I was an engineer, how would I get to this part? You know what I mean? And think of it from that aspect.
No, it looked really
good. I like having different finishes on a kit. So I was really proud of that one.
And
it was a really
you
fun
entered
time.
This at a IPMS show, or was it just this is the build off between you two?
So this initially it was a fun build off, but I had planned to use it for an IPMS event, but because of the virus, there is no IPMS. So I actually entered this in for the Gundam Guys SCGMC online competition. So that's going to be my entry this year.
Oh, awesome.
We'll see.
And that's
see what happens.
Vert Cove, right? That's the one that
the Vert Cove or something like that. So
nice. And this is your first time entering their kind of competition? Is that?
Yes, because I know that their competition is normally in California, so I've never actually gone. I wanted to go last year, actually, which was crazy. I almost went.
Oh man, if I knew about it too, I would have probably gone as well. I know Mike Skyers on the chat here went, and he actually placed, I believe, years ago. I forgot what year it was, but yeah, dude. I mean, this looks really, really cool. Any lessons learned from this you could share with me?
You can do it. I would say you can do it. Like, that's what I learned from this. Like, from adding parts to the legs to scribing. Like, I've always been like so scared, right, of messing up a kit. Like, and early on, right, I used to like think that P Bandai kits were some like special thing that you can't like mess with, right? Like,
it's a unicorn,
God, it's P Bandai. Yeah, and 3 years later, I'm like, dude, I'm doing a custom. Like, I don't care. I'm gonna rip it apart. I'm gonna change things. So I would say like anybody who wants to go for like, trying things for the first time, definitely like I said, it took me multiple builds to get here where I felt comfortable scribing and doing additions, right? I wanted to make sure I knew how to paint first and knew how to, apply decals. And so now that I'm comfortable in that area, let's venture off. Let's learn how to scribe. Let's learn how to add parts. So yeah, if you're new or if you're like me and you kind of take baby steps, you can do it. Like, that's honest to God, you can do it.
Nice. And that is awesome. Why don't we swing back to us here real quick? Just kind of reading off some of the comments here. Not too much yet, but we have a couple of comments from Jonathan. He's saying, the more you know, with stars and reading rainbow. And that's because everybody was like very helpful and very knowledgeable. The crew here on the chat, you guys are amazing. You guys are true fans of the lore, the Gundam, the Gunpla community. Thank you guys for your help and information. From Hasaki Art, you're welcome, because I said thanks on the chat here. R13 did the same thing with the EFSF logo on my HEUC F91. And when you got that logo on the chest, did that come in various sizes, or was that like a set?
Yeah, I think it's a set. It comes like in a square. Comes in a little square. I can always send you a picture of it, and then you can share with your community.
Awesome, yeah, that would be great.
And yeah, so it's like undergated. You would clip it out, and then the hardest part was trying to glue it and make sure it was centered.
Right. And from Miguel here, masking was pretty fun. Quotations. Come on, Gio, get out of here. Oh, Miguel did a Sazabi recently, and I think he had some fun with masking as well on that one. So the way you probably showed
it's so worth it though. It is. It's so worth it.
Awesome. From Neon Wave, the major lessons we take away from the stream is that we must pretend to be dumb so that no one keeps asking for tips, and that Gundam fans like balls enough to grab one of them. What the hell am I reading? Grab ones that belong to others. That's from Neon Wave. Basically, AO Mecha is fun filled with life lessons for everybody. Grab your Gundam balls and talk smack about your friends. Like, for example, Bro Builder, yo, Gio's after you. It's gonna have to do without it.
Listen, Brian is jacked. If you ever meet him, this guy's got his guns are much bigger than mine.
Oh, man, I heard he had an 8-pack. How weird is that?
I haven't seen him undressed yet, so I'll get back to you there. But no, Brian is one. He is one really cool dude, man.
Yeah, no, hands down, really informative guy and really all around great. Last one here we have from Mike Skyers. I went to New Type HQ BuildCon Contest 2019 in San Fran. I've never been to an IPMS show. Oh, okay, well then. Well, we have to get you guys in an IPMS show then. It's like I wanted to get
they're all over the place. Yeah, they're all over the place. Not now, but
soon. Pretty much soon enough. Speaking of soon, we're going to do a quick break, and then we're going to continue on with a couple of more of your photos that you want to share with us. I see a lot of cool builds still because I'm looking at the previews right now, and I can't wait to talk about the last 2 builds of this set. Guys, thank you for watching and tuning in so far. And yeah, we'll be right back after this quick break. Hey, what's up, guys? It's Ariel from AO Mecha. I just want to let you guys know about all my other social media outlets if you haven't had a chance to check them out at facebook.com/AOMecha, on YouTube, youtube.com/AOMecha, on Instagram, instagram.com/AO_Mecha, on Twitter, at AO_Mecha, and on Discord, fairly new. That one is AO_Mecha, #3414. Anyways, hope to hear from you guys. Through any of those platforms, feel free to DM me or PM me, as well as emailing me. My email is aomecha.info@gmail.com. Just want to let you guys know that this episode is brought to you by USA Gundam Store. Please check them out, www.usagundamstore.com, and save on your purchases when you use my discount code AOMecha10. All right, let's get back to the show and see what's going on there. And welcome back, guys, to another AO Mecha Feature Builder episode. My name is Ariel. We're joined here by Geo Builds. Oh man, what a cool story. What I like about this one is like, it is the perfect. I'm looking for a word here that, like, the symmetry that you have shown on your journey. Really, I think, will resonate with people that are also walking the same path right now. Be it either they've crossed it and further, or they're actually just approaching it. I think your perspective on how you approach your builds, the type of, like, trial and error and just keep going forward kind of like mentality is very inspirational. So hopefully you guys out there that are watching that have gone to here, the fun doesn't stop here though, does it? Like, we're continuing on with further more than what we have. So let's just recap a little bit. You started off with the kits that like sparked you during the Wing premieres in the US and Canada. I think we're at the same time that we did that, and then later on rekindled that by just like stumbling onto the hobby again. And we're now, the last slides here, before the commercial, we were just talking about custom paint, custom scribing. You're starting to do some more kit bashing and resin count. Like, this is the progression that I think every modeler will go through eventually, be it if you're just a beginner or even if you're a veteran, that you've gone through these process. And it's really cool that your story, I think a lot of people will relate to, and that is really cool, man. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. I just, like I said, it's a hobby. I always want to keep it in the back of my mind. I never want to take this too seriously, right? It's a free time thing. It's just plastic or resin at the end of the day. But I always have the attitude of, I just want to do be the best me, do the best that I can. And that's for anyone. There's people out there who, maybe never want to paint the kit, and that's fine. Like,
and that is totally fine. Yeah,
just be
absolutely.
the best at not painting a kit. You know what I mean? Like, how can you become more proficient in that, or how can you do it faster? Like, that's always my attitude. Like, just try to be the best you in your hobby.
Look at that. Ash Ketchum right here. Gotta catch them all. Freaking Pokemon trainer, Gundam lore guy. Look at this guy here. Before we get back to the presentation, I just want to say hello to everybody in Facebook Live and also YouTube Live. We have a lot of chatter going on at YouTube Live. We actually have a couple of questions for you here. I think this is a perfect segment to answer some, and then we're gonna go back to the the show. From Kyle, Knox Flight Group. How did Gio get started with USA Gundam? Ooh, that's an interesting story. Do you mind doing a little recap of? Because so just so that everybody knows, Gio here is part of the USA Gundam build team. That's also where I'm affiliated with. One of the newer guys, but he has been around for a bit longer than I am. I'm kind of curious too. Like, can you share a little bit about your affiliation?
I think my relationship with USA Gundam Store happened like very like organically, I would have to say. If you go all the way down to like my first post on my Instagram, like I tagged USA Gundam Store because they were the first shop that I ever like ordered from. Like that was, you know, kind of my, I don't know, loyalty in a sense. I had ended up working with, it's weird to say that like little old me 3 years on Instagram had worked with like other companies, whether it was like commission builds and stuff like that.
Right.
And after just having like normal conversations with Adam, who is probably one of the most like genuine people that like I know in this community or as a business person, like as a human being, he had, you know, offered me to, you know, come on board. And I was like, dude, I don't know if I can compete with names like True Gunpla and Zach Aurelius and everyone else on the team. And, you know, he was like, I don't know, it's not like that, you know, and it was, I'm just glad to be a part. And it's a team, right? It's a build team. And,
it's also
it happened really
online
like
personalities
organically.
I found too, because like again, before I really, you know, all of us got in touch with each other and started talking, like looking back at some of the stuff that you posted before I even knew you, I was like, this guy already loves what he's doing, he's sharing what his knowledge are. And I think you have the personality for sure to that I think Adam is cultivating for his team. But yeah, so did he approach you first or did you approach him? I know it's not organic, but like
we had always like talked back and forth, but he definitely had like he had like extended the olive branch, like so to speak, you know. And I think that's how it happened. And we had kind of gone like back and forth because I was like, look, I don't know. Like initially I was like, I don't know, man. Like, you know, I've worked with other companies before and I just want to build and stuff. And I think it was just because I want to see, you know, his company kind of prosper. Like I love his origin story, you know what I mean? Him starting out on an eBay store and just all that he does for the community. I'm just, you know, I'm kind of like humbled to be like on the team. Like if you look at the other builders and content creators on the team, like you being one of them, it's a great solid group of individuals. It's just cool to be associated with them, you know. And so,
awesome. Yeah, no, and that's it. The thing is, like a lot of these guys, like especially the guys that are starting off, being content creator, being influencer, being a builder in our hobby. Obviously, a lot of them have this. I don't know, and I'm speaking for myself here because like I've come across a lot of people that I've been asked like, how did you get sponsored by X company, or how did you get that? I like you. It came naturally. Like I wasn't even looking first. I didn't even know if I qualified to be sponsored enough. But like being approached by someone I think that wants to take a chance on you is very, very humbling. My recommendation, I think you would agree with this one, is just focus on your craft, focus on your hobby, and let the work kind of speak for itself, right? Like it's good to ask. I'm not saying don't ask for some help and all that stuff. And I think we promote getting help from anyone that could be willing to do that. But again, I think what we want to say here is like like your story, like organic, focus on content and enjoy your craft. Those are, I think, the most important takeaways from your story there as well. Just focus on your craft and then understand, like, you know, nothing's free. Like when you see, you know, a company send, you know, someone a kit or a build, like that's pressure, if anything, you know what I mean, to make that company proud or whatever. So like keep the energy, keep the dedication, and you know, make sure that you're learning and having fun with it. I think that's the most important part. Awesome. Yeah, and we're just a couple more comments and we're gonna get back to the rest of the slides here. That was a good question. Thank you for asking, Colin. Thank you, Gio, for answering that. We got something here from oh man, I gotta climb a little bit up here. From Ronan, somebody say they need tickets to the gun show. Hey, can you flex again, man? Show me that sexy arm. No, there's nothing there. Here we go again. Gunpla Ronan. Nicholas Tiada Sanchez is making fun of how many times I say Ayo Mecha in my commercial. Yeah, for the next season, man, I'm gonna do like triple the amount just for you, and it's gonna be called the Nicholas Tiada Sanchez show. From Miguel Caspo, we're in Canada now, bro. My turf. I think Miguel and Ronan are just like doing a little bit of cute banters. Oh, guys, get a room.
Yeah, Ronan's good for that. He's always making noise somewhere.
From Neon Wave, why see guns when we can see Gundams? While I'm on the joke, why human biceps when we can see Gundam balls? Oh my god, we're gonna run this balls to the ground.
I think I ruined your show.
And my ratings just suddenly drop.
Yeah, it's poison. I don't know what happened.
This is a toxic community. Get the hell out of here. We got, oh my god, Brian is here, bro builder.
His ears must have been ringing. Hey, I've been talking a lot about you, Brian.
Yo, Gio is calling shots on you, man. I heard, he was gonna drop some sick beats on your kit, man. Like what I heard also, man. Like, oh man, just crazy.
I've been man crushing on Brian all night, so rewatch this and you'll see.
Oh man, there we go. They're just saying what up to Brian, and let's see here. He's drinking right now, so cheers, man.
Cheers.
Oh my god. All right, why don't we continue for a bit? Like that's a lot of slice of life talk right there. I want to get some more let's slice of your photos. Okay, so our first picture back onto the arena, we have here what looks like the don't get me, it's the X divider.
The Gundam X.
Gundam X, right?
Yes. That was just a fun palette cleanse, no custom anything, just paint the kit, and I really just love that build. That's one of my favorite kits actually. I want to get the Gbwc next. But the Gundam X is a really nice build. The only thing I changed on that,
the purple. Yeah, I was gonna say the color scheme on this is dope, man.
Yeah, so that purple I just did. So that was a P Bandai one that comes with like a more like bluish purple, and I just mixed MS purple, which is like that light lavender, with MS light blue. So I gave it like a different tone to it.
Right.
And then everything else, I think the yellow was like a character orange, but I sprayed that over like a pink primer too to kind of keep it like a more. So
wait, when you put pink primer down first and then you put orange, it still comes out as a yellow? Like, I mean, not a yellow.
So that is character yellow. But it's more of like an orangey color. So I actually will only spray yellow over like pink from now on. Like that's my new thing.
No way.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of that. You never want to spray yellow over gray because it's gonna look green.
Yeah, dude, it messed me up so much, and I had to like spray it white in order to me to even get anything back from that. So wow, I'm learning something from that. That is cool, man.
That's just how I roll now. Yeah, that's my big thing. I did that a lot more obvious on my Barbatos build, but that was the first time that I was like, hey, I'm in love with like pink primer and then like a yellow on top of a pink primer. That worked out really well.
Oh man, it looks dope. Yeah. And
that's a really pretty kit. That's a really pretty kit. It comes with like clear parts too. So like there's like purple clear parts on there. And then it has like the holographic stickers or like a roller film that you can put inside that. That's a fun build. Like I actually recommend that.
Yeah, it is really cool. And the X is definitely one of my like least known, but I like kit. Like I don't know, like a lot of people might not even heard of Gundam X, which is kind of like sad for me. But for those of you guys that love Gundam X, I think this is the show right after Gundam Wing finished, so it was still riding that whole like theme-based series, but the style of the mecha, especially the weapon system for this is so unique that I was like, yes, this is definitely a cool kit. And right now, what we have on the image here, we have the X backpack deployed. That's with the Aurora film at the back.
Yeah, so it actually comes with like a sheet of. It's kind of like Aurora film, so you would just put that inside of the plastic, and then there's a clear piece that's actually like honeycombed on the inside, so it makes it even more reflective. Right. Which I thought was really cool little gimmick that they added there. That kit has a really cool like shelf presence and stuff like that. That was an easy build. I'm telling you, like if you just want like a fun, let me build this and paint it, Gundam X like all day long.
Hands down. Wow. Yeah, I have the divider and the X in storage, but after seeing this, definitely inspired to like bust that out of the. That might be a backlog builder episode, guys. That's streaming Mondays and Wednesdays. Forget that. Look at that little plug.
You got to do it. The gun is cool too. The gun actually opens up and like turns into a shield. So you have there's cool gimmicks with that build. I don't know. That was a fun. Like, relax. And the colors. I think I did that in like a week or two. Just a nice clean paint job.
A week?
Yeah, like a week or two.
Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah.
It's fast. Question here from the YouTube chat from Mike Skyers. He was also feature builder number 2. If you look at my playlist, check him out. Mike Skyers is a really good guy. Question for Gio. Do you have any plans to enter GBWC in the future?
In the future, yes. I definitely want to enter, but I don't want to enter just to get a pin. I would love to feel confident that I can compete.
Nice.
And I'm aware of my free time and also my time, like my skill level right now. Yeah. But in a little while, I'll definitely, I do have an idea of what I want to do. I just know that I'm not capable yet of like executing it.
Right.
But that's definitely something that I would love to compete and be there. So.
Awesome. All right. So Tim Harkins, you've heard it first here. He's coming after your seat. So watch out for Gio builds.
Jeez.
That's an open invitation. Once you're top of the list, you have a target on your back, and Gio is hungry. Yeah. He will see you at the finals. Oh my God! No, shout out to Child of Mecca. I loved his entry, the drop one.
Airdrop was sick.
Amazing. So yeah, there's your target, man. I wish you the best in GBWC, and hopefully you represent US at some point, man. That's gonna be dope. Next over here, something different and something familiar as well. We're looking at the backpack of what is the Sinanju, I believe, right?
The Sinanju Stein.
The Stein. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, so we're out there next
cool.
kit, yeah.
I always wanted to build that kit. That was a fun build that I did with USA Gundam Store. Again, Adam actually sent random paints, like colors. I didn't know the colors that he was sending, and I had to come up with like the build scheme to go along with it. So I went ahead and used, it was like a light blue, a gray, this weird red that was really like an orange. Like that was a big challenge to build. And I actually like that's a Verka version. I actually like the Verka over the narrative. To be honest, that's like the older kit.
So I'm looking at the shield as well. We just have that. I'm just letting you know what's on the it looks, I love the shield on this one. It has that like just a badass aggressive feel to it, but with your blues on this one, it feels like I want to like snuggle with it at night just so that
it did look smooth. It did. That blue is definitely like a nice like smoother blue as opposed to like that like heavier like navy blue. And then I kind of did like homage to the original Sinanju, and I did like a red head. Just because I thought that would like really pop and stand out. So like I had like that like stark red head with like
I have it up right now here, and it's such a nice contrast as well too. It's like a feature point, focal point of this shot. I know you've done a lot of like the custom color mixes on this one. Did you ever do cross brands like Krios with like Tamiya, or did you stick with their own brands when they're
sure. Like I thought earlier on, so when I finally graduated from like Tamiya paints or the acrylics to like Mr. Hobby, I was like, oh, I only need Mr. Hobby, or I only need, and I've kind of matured in the sense that I just want the best color and best application. So like if there's a sweet color that's only in SMS, for example, I don't think there's any one company that has it like all, like there's always going to be something that'll bring you back. So incorporating that.
Nice.
Some companies have really good metallics, some companies have better, finishers or whatever. So I kind of do like a smorgasbord, but everything there was all SMS paints,
nice.
which was a lot of fun. And again, I did some like asymmetry stuff with the like one shoulder blue, the other one white, which was fun because I almost messed up and painted the wrong parts on those. And I tried like shading. I tried doing like shading again, or more like highlighting. Just to see if I could still do it like clean, like early on. I don't know if this happened to you, if you ever tried doing like a pre-shade or a post-shade. Sometimes like those colors can look like speckly, where they're not like smooth transitions.
Oh, did you have like those blotches also when you're like accidentally get that little flicker?
I definitely wanted to see what I can do as far as doing that again. And that was, again, just like a nice like palette cleanse, fun build. I really wanted to start like attacking backlogs and like getting actual like kits out, you know what I mean?
Nice. Yeah, no, absolutely. And the Stein is definitely has a very unique design. I love the mixture of angular parts and the rounded organic shape to it, especially to exonerate the features of it. The boosters are also a nice touch to that one because like that bright white contrast. Man, I love seeing like when you get those boosters and they're like nice and white. But my only grip on this one is like they're so close to the damp thrusters that like if you're going like full burn and the heat goes on, I'm just thinking like this thing could explode at any given time right here, man.
Oh, of course. No, absolutely. And what was crazy is I was like, you know what, maybe I should, scribe a little bit on this kit, add more detail. And I was like, it's a Verka. Like, I'm just going to keep with the fact that it's a Verka. It's like a Toki design. Let me just let it be what it is and just have fun with like the paint. I had fun. It's a fun, that's a nice kit. Like if you haven't built it, that's a good Verka. Especially for like decals.
Oh, especially. Did the decals come with the kit? I read somewhere that it was, right? Yeah. Okay, cool.
So mostly all the Verkas come with decals, except for like the RX-78 and I want to say the Ball. RX-78 Ball.
Yeah, they do.
Some of them don't have decals.
Yeah, they do. You're gonna have to make some of your decals for them balls.
Jesus.
Let's go to a question real quick here before we get to the next slide. This is from Hasaki. Ayo, ask Gio about the Four Horsemen stream, when they're gonna do stream again with James and the Frobo.
So the Four Horsemen still ride strong. That's myself, Taz, Nozaku Boy, and the Daft Robo. We actually still talk every day via chat. For those who don't know, Taz and Ozaku Boy live in Australia, so our timing is always a little off, and we're all affected by like Corona and stuff in different ways, but we still communicate, and I think it's going to happen soon. We definitely miss each other and just like joking around. So I do appreciate you asking, and I'll let them know. Maybe give them a kick in the pants to hurry up and come back.
That's awesome. See, again, networking here. I love that there's like cross platforms between like people that we know. And man, I if I'm not following those guys, please, I'm gonna start adding them. I'll just have to find them through your friends list, and maybe have them as a feature builder. Should we approach certain people about that?
They're definitely more talented than I am, so I would say yes.
Awesome. Season 2, I'm still filling in some slots, so there are some people that I'm reaching out to, and I will make more announcement of that coming up. Gio is our second last builder for season 1, so yeah, dude, I'm really glad you're in the show, man.
No, I appreciate it. It's been a really good time so far.
Awesome. Yeah, and it's flying right now. Speaking of flying, we're now at one of the final last 2 pieces here, which is kind of cool. Okay. Let's talk about the Barbie. Barbados.
All right. Sorry, the Master Grade Barbie. I have like a love and hate with this build because it's weathered and like I'm so almost like anti-weathering, but I'm really happy. I got a hold of the like AK Interactive pencils.
Oh, right.
And that's how I ended up weathering this build. But I think one of the first pictures is like the inner frame. The inner frame is awesome. If you have like, that's probably going to be a kit that's used to kit bash. Like if you like pistons, there's like 16 pistons. There's like some outrageous amount of like pistons inside of this build. The inner frame is super solid compared to like the RE100 ones where like you can't really pose them.
Right, that's the full mechanics one, 100 scale. Right.
And like trying to attack this build, I tried to do like as many tricks as I could to make it look weathered. So my first approach with the armor was to make it look like sun-baked or like sun-washed or like really like paler color. So like the white was already more gray. The blue, I did like a higher highlight, as if the Barbatos was just like left out in the sun and like was baked on it. And then after that, I did a gunk wash, which really toned it down. But again, like if you look at like the V-fin, that was pink primer. And I even did red like pre-shade and then put the yellow on top to really get like that like stark tone.
Oh wow.
And I really think that's that's gonna be like my go-to from now on with like yellows, to really like get like more tone in there. And then I tried doing like streaking with the pencils, and shout outs to like True Gunpla and Taz and everyone who helped me out as far as like weathering goes. This is not my wheelhouse like at all. And honestly, I think that weathered builds are so much harder if you do it like appropriately. Like if you try everything right, so you do like your washes and you can do your filters, and it's like, when do you say when? You know what I mean? And that's,
right.
That's where people are like, no, it can be dirtier. I'm like, dude, but I want it clean. You know what I mean? Like I just want this thing to look good. But I have to say, like, I'm really, really happy with how this came out. I don't know that it was truly like a weathered build. I think I kind of paid homage to like minifigure painters, how they do like edge highlighting.
Yes,
and
yeah.
it almost looks kind of like anime-ish, where it's like the bright white and like the gray. But I love it, man. This is honestly, like, after all the time and like frustration of weathering it, this is one of my like most fun builds. And a lot of people have given me like really positive feedback too. So that's
another thing about this build, and I wanted to, I was hoping to grab a clip for it for the show, just ran out of time. But for those of you guys that don't know, Gio also has a YouTube channel. And that's where I was saying, I was looking at some of your old vids. The description of that is the link is in the description of this show. And I have a couple of questions also with your YouTube and all that stuff. But for those of you guys are wondering about this build, Gio also posted a kind of like a step-by-step of how you weathered your Barbados.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a bit about that video for these guys?
Yeah, so I'm definitely trying to like put out like what I would consider like meaningful content. Like, I don't want to just like put something out and have you have individuals look at it and be like, oh, this is so cool, but how did he do it? Or how can I get there? Like, I really value like educational stuff without it being like in your face tutorial. Just because I know what it's like to not know how to do something or to be, like shy about it. So I kind of just went through the colored pencils that I used in the video, and I don't know, like I said, if I did it right or wrong, but exactly how I did all the white armor bits, the gray armor bits, some of the yellow armor bits. And I hope that people kind of like enjoyed it. I want to do more videos like that where I can kind of like show people how at least I do it, and don't take what I do for like gospel or anything. It's just what works for me.
You're right.
And again, I'm more along the lines of being more objective than like subjective. So hey, if you don't like the shade of blue, I'm sorry, but more of like the application process. You know what I mean? And those pencils are really, really easy to use, I gotta say. And AK does a good job.
I was gonna say too, because like I was watching your video before the show, we were just talking about that. The way you illustrated the use of the pencil, I was in shock. I have a couple of AK pencils myself. I just haven't had a chance to really need to weather. I haven't worked on anything new because I'm doing the shows and all that stuff. Yeah. But I do plan on doing eventually some more weathering techniques and all that stuff. And I totally dig the video that you did for Barbados. So congratulations on that. I think your message of tutorial does come through pretty clear. And again, it's subjective. And I do agree. It's like you take what you want to take from it, and the whole content is, again, free, the tutorial, the process. And you also, I think in the comments when you were doing the video, it's kind of like, this might not be the right application, but this is how I'm doing it. I think that is the most important part, because then it allows people to learn for themselves, their own technique, their own process. And maybe there is a better way or a different way. I wouldn't say better way. There's maybe a different way to apply it. So yeah,
no, it could be better though, and that's the thing. Like, I even say in the video, like, go to AK's website because they have tutorials on how to do like specific techniques and stuff like that. I just hit on, like, if you're going to use those pencils, you need a matte surface. Like, get a really, really matte surface so that those pencils can like hold on to them, and then use that tip like as wet as possible and just have at it. And if you mess up, it comes right off. You can use a Q-tip,
wipe it out,
right off, and then you just start all over again. So it was really, I think it was a fair attempt. So I'm glad that that's what was brought to me, to try out. It wasn't anything that like ruined the build.
Oh, awesome. There's a question here over from Jonathan Velasquez. Do you top coat between base colors and separation?
What do you mean? Base colors and colors for the
Barbados? Yeah. I think it's for the between color separation.
So I can tell you in order what I ended up doing was, let's just take the white, for example. It was gray primer, and then I went in and did, what do you call it? No, I actually used black primer. I went in with white primer a little bit to highlight, and then I sprayed the whole thing white. So that's why I got there. I put the decals on. Then I panel lined it. Then I top coated it matte. Then I did the weathering, and then I top coated it again.
Wow, that's a lot of layers right there, man. Oh, but it is part of the process. This is the kind of like the standard kind of like, if anything, it deviates maybe one or two coats here and there, but like pretty much a start from plastic all the way to finished coat. So
yeah,
I think
and that's how. And it depends on the finish. Like, there's some paints that are already like semi-gloss or that are already high gloss. So if the paint itself is going to dry glossy, I'll just go decals and panel line, and then I'll just top coat it once over. Depending on the finish. I usually go with like matte finishes. because gloss is hard.
Oh, nice.
Like that candy coat's hard.
Candy coat that. Gotta polish that. Get that turtle wax.
So we'll do it next. I'll do one for you. I'll do a nice shiny one for you.
Nice. Oh man, I want to see the bling on that. I want you to wear that on your wrist. I want you to blind. I want that thing to like shine the light in the dark, man. Holy cow. Quick comments here from you from Bro Builder here. I got a big set of AK pencils for Christmas and promptly started a year of clean build. Purely coincidental. So yeah, dude,
I'm loving that though. I'm actually
so,
liking his builds.
Yeah, Brian is coming after you now, man. So you got to best be prepared. You got Tim Harkins, you got Brian, you got everybody like now coming after you, man. Just got to step it up, son.
Listen, like I said earlier, Brian, now that you're here, your Zaku inspired me so hard to like keep learning. Even when I met you in New York City and I told you, I was like, dude, that was one of the coolest builds ever. So
nice.
Keep doing that kind of stuff because I'm coming for you.
There we go. See, I knew it. Awesome. We are now approaching the final couple of slides here. And again, thank you so much for sharing your adventure with us. This is now something completely different from your Gunpla. When I say Gunpla, I'm talking about Gundam plastic model kits. Yes. But this is still a model kit nonetheless, and we have the Neon Genesis Evangelion RG kit here. So why don't we tell us about this story here, man?
So I was once known as like Gunpla Geo, and I had recently changed my name a couple months ago to just like Geo Builds because I want to venture off into like other avenues and other modeling things, just so open up my horizons. Like I do have a admiration for like cars and motorcycle kits, so we'll see where that goes, but I'm primarily like mecha suits is really nice. What does it for me, like awesome robots. So when the RG Evangelion came out, again, I've only seen maybe like 6 or 7 episodes of Eva, but the hype train was real on this.
Oh my god, I know, right? Like
the hype train was real, and I was like, all right, you know what, let me go ahead and paint it. So I still haven't even posted pictures of the display base because I did get the DX one that has like the green display base and everything.
Yeah.
But what I did, kind of like a jerk, is I painted it as if it was a RG Gundam kit, because all the RG Gundam kits have like the weird like all white and then a gray armor piece and like the multiple colors. So I went in with like the 2 different purples, and I used like a fluorescent green. Which again, it looks like really loud in the photographs, but like when you're actually looking at the kit, it holds like so pure like to the kit. And I gotta say that kit's really fun.
I was gonna say I've yet to hear like any major negative vibes reviews at all. I've listened to Zach's, I've listened to Megakokatsu. Oh my god, I can never pronounce that guy's name. Funny guy that talks like this, and this, and this. Don't forget to look at your kit like this. Oh, and a banana. So, I'm sorry to God, I'm gonna do one show and it's gonna talk like Mecha Gokatsu, and I'm gonna interview people. So tell me about your build. Wow, that is amazing. Can you weather it that way? Really? Wow. Oh my god, I'm gonna get in trouble.
You got that guy solid.
Dude, if you listen to him enough times, man, I sometimes have conversation in my head and it sounds like him. So when I'm purchasing a kit from the store, for example, it's like, what
you already hear him like talking about it.
Well, I really like this Build Fighter Diver. Again, Bandai kind of missed the ball. I'm gonna give it bronze tiers. Oh, no, and it's, oh man. And this is me just looking at the kit. I'm pretty sure the cashier is probably looking at me going like, well, there's Homeboy again.
Yeah, you're in some like trance.
Oh my god. But yeah, the Neon Genesis looks really, really good. And obviously this is a different build. Is there any major difference that you could say from this build and your previous build that you would say, hey, this is unique?
Oh yeah, very what is it, anthropomorphic or whatever, very like humanoid. I'll just say it that way, like it's very humanoid, super posable. Like you look like this kid is like, I mean, you've seen some of the like the images out there and like reviews and stuff. Like this guy can bend, the torso really contorts, really interesting. You don't have too much movement with the head. The mouth opens up like really, really wide, which is kind of interesting on this kit. But you can be very, very expressive with the kit. It comes with like so many different hands and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Here, I mean, I have like my basic Geo, I'm ready to fight pose. That's what like all my kits look like. They're just standing there waiting.
Come at me, bro.
Yeah, just come at me, bro. But yeah, really, really cool quality of the build. There's actually, underneath the armor bits, the inner frame kind of looks like muscle muscular structures. So like the hamstring actually has like curvature as if like our real hamstrings and our quadriceps and biceps. So really, really like interesting build on that. I enjoyed it because it was just something different. It was something fresh. And it was cool. Like the feet manipulate really, really well. So you can have a lot of fun. The only problem that I had after painting it was just getting those shoulder pieces to go back on. There's like a tiny little like ball socket that I probably put too much primer or paint on. I'm one of those weird people who will still prime every single piece of the kit, even if no one will ever see it ever. So I prime everything and paint everything, or else my OCD's like, dude, you did it wrong. I don't know. It's very, very weird. But no, super, super nice, like clean lines. That's a nice RG kit for someone who knows nothing about like the Eva lore. That was a really nice build.
Awesome. Well, no, thanks for sharing that with us. And that kind of concludes our show and tell up to now. I know you're working on a couple of new builds in the next while, and again, guys, follow him on Instagram. Why don't we come back to us here? Let's do a side-by-side chat. Gio, man, your journey is so sweet, and the thing is, like, a lot of people could probably relate to where you're at. It doesn't matter which point it is from where you are to started to where you are now and where you're going. I think a lot of people could relate with that. And I'm just gonna do a couple of like last questions here. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. It was such a really cool, nostalgic refresher. That's what I'm gonna say, because it's a good emphasis that like the journey might be different for everybody, but there's a lot of similarities to it. So awesome stuff, man. Let's do some comments and questions over at YouTube Live here.
Okay.
Let's see. We're gonna get to some comments and we're gonna get to the questions. How far did we get? AK pencils yet? We were talking about that. Miguel is saying clean builds for life. He's saying for life. He's a lifer for that. Good job on that. This Eva model is amazing. That is from Wonder Shazzy Arroyo. I'm gonna call him Arroyo. From Jonathan Velasquez. Please get him out a builder feature. Okay, yes, we will. And Action Man Adrian here, love those white parts added on the legs. And I think that was the accent details you were talking about. Reminds me of the suit the Gundam Meisters wore on Gundam 00. Was that intentional, or just kind of just go with the flow with your colors?
No, but you know what? That actually, I can totally see that. Yeah, no, it wasn't intentional at all. I wanted to break up some of those armor pieces.
Yeah.
No, that's actually pretty cool.
Nice. And Ariel, I think you should do a invoice in season 2. Mecha Gokatsu left the chat. I'll come back. And then change your name to Ayo Mecha Gokatsu. Oh yeah, I could totally do that.
Yeah, there's no copyright issues there.
A little bit, man. And Mecha Gokatsu, if you are listening by any means at all to this man, I love you, man. I do. You're that tiny voice in my head.
Imitation is the highest form of flattery, right?
You're that tiny voice in my head that just says, "Yeah, do it." Like, you're absolutely right. Like, who are you talking to? This is from Nico, Mr. Pink. He has a question for you. I've been struggling keeping myself motivated, completing pending projects at my disposal. Been my issue since. So, what kept you guys motivated? What keeps you motivated, Gio?
Oh man, I think it's just the hobby itself. As you kind of touched on, I am a first responder. So for me to be able to kind of like shut myself out from what I see at work or deal with and just have like a nice quiet space to build is just like, it's healthy for me. So I do consider the hobby like my safe place or whatever. And yeah, I think I'm just dedicated. It's not necessarily motivation. I'm more dedicated to learning and enjoying the hobby. Motivation comes and goes. It's based on the weather, right? But I think if you're just dedicated to having fun and you keep it a hobby, you definitely don't have to build every day. You don't have to, post a picture every day. It's very, very easy to get caught up in like, the Joneses, right? Keeping up with the Joneses. This is your hobby. It's your kit. And you should never have that like a salty, like taste in your mouth after that. It should always be like fun and pleasurable. So go out there and, whenever you come back to it, like it's always waiting, it's always going to be there waiting for you. So I think that's what keeps me going, is just knowing like, it's not going anywhere. My desk is going to be down here. And when I have free time, it's better than like trying to force and make free time to do it. Cause that's when it's a stress. Cause you try to get all your errands done and you sit there and you have like writer's block, so to speak.
You're right.
Then it can be more frustrating, but have fun with it. It's a hobby. Have fun. Just gotta have fun.
Absolutely. Look at that. And I do want to echo on that one. I have a couple of posts on this for like motivation being burnt out and all that stuff. Like, never work yourself harder on it. Don't stress about it. It's supposed to be an enjoyable experience. It's supposed to be like, something that you do that's a leisure. Unless you're like, I mean, there are people that are competitive. I get that. And that's, I think, by nature or by personality and whatever have you. But if for me to keep motivated, if you're asking me about motivation, my motivation, it depends on what I'm doing. So if I'm doing model kits, I get motivated if I get excited about projects. Finishing them, I do struggle, so I could relate with that. But if I'm doing the show like this, for example, my motivation really is you guys. Because you guys, when you guys talk about your builds, you're showcasing your work. I'm talking about the builders for now. Showcasing your work, showcasing the type of journey from start to finish. And I'm not talking about start a build to a finished build. I'm talking about start of your journey into the hobby and to where you are right now. To me, that is very motivational and inspiring. And the second part are the people that are on the chat that are like you at some point in that journey. And I'm echoing back on like where they could relate with the journey is the motivational part for me, because like I'm nowhere near as good as a lot of the feature builders, but to me they motivate me to continue doing the show, the shows like this and presenting them, because I follow these guys. I think their work are really, really great, and I just want to share that with everybody else that I know. And hopefully you guys are enjoying the show. It's just been a journey for me, and it's powered by you guys. So you guys, you the builders, and you the fans and the audience power me. So that's my motivation. Find someone, find people in the community. For my recommendation, find your community. Look at your social network. Weed out anything that you think is unnecessary or bad for you. And I think you have a feel of like what feels toxic or what feels unimportant in a way. And I wouldn't say cling, but like approach people in the community that I think would inspire you. Gio here, man, like when we first started talking, I didn't think you were that nice, and then holy cow, like this is the kind of guy I would have drinks and wings with, like on a Friday.
Let's go.
You know what I mean?
Let's go right now.
So, and everybody else on the chat, you guys are more. If we ever meet in person, and I do want to meet you guys in person, trust me, it is one of my wishes to meet every one of you guys in person, and be fortunate enough to have you guys be part of this moment, this show, this live, and all that stuff. You guys are great, so keep it up. Last couple of questions for you, Gio, before we get going. Some standard stuff. What would you say is your favorite top 3 tools?
Ooh, my top 3 tools right now. Okay. I can say right now at my current level, it's got to be my nippers. I'm actually like, this is no plug at all. I'm very, very happy with the USA Gundam 2.0 nippers. I was using the God hands for forever. And after breaking multiple pairs, like I'm just
oh my God.
really...
How did yours break? Did it break clean, or did you
just like little tips, just the tip like crack off.
Just the tip and balls. It's crazy.
Jesus, listen, I didn't go there. Okay. But no, I would say my nippers, my sanding sticks, whether they're sponges, like I would say like my top 3, and then my decal squeegee. I use the Wave decal squeegee, and that's how I apply all my like water slides. I would say if like 3 tools that I can't live without would probably be like my nippers, something to sand with, and the decal squeegee.
Nice. And for those of you guys, for those guys that are again just starting out with the hobby, the community and hobby and all that stuff, what kind of advice would you give them if they're interested in pursuing this type of hobby?
Oh man, 100%. I'm the most average of Joes. If I can do it, you can do it. Go get the kits that just look good to you. Don't get the kits that everyone says is a must-have, or ride the hype train. That can come later. Don't get so like overwhelmed with like keeping up with backlogs. Just go out there, find a kit that kind of speaks to you, and just like have fun with it. To quote Child of Mecca, he says, the only difference between me and you is time, right? So I've only been in this for 3 years. He's been in it much longer. A lot of builders have been doing this for so much time. Don't compare yourself to them in that sense. Just take your time. And you just keep it a hobby, keep it fun. And reach out to people. I can say that as much as people say this community is toxic, I've actually never experienced any of that. I don't know if it's just the way that I carry myself or who I follow and what I participate in.
Right.
But anytime I've reached out for help, it's always been there. If that's not the case for you, you know, I'm sorry to hear that. Reach out to me. I may not have all the answers, but I do know someone who does have the answers. You know what I mean? And I think that's really what it comes down to. Is if you're brand new and this is something that you're interested in, grab something that you think is cool and just take it all the way and figure out what works for you. You don't have to be a painter. You don't have to be, you know, a scratch builder. Whatever level you feel comfortable at, just do it the best way that you can do it.
Awesome. Guys, that is some wise words right there from Geo Builder here. And Geo Builds. Geo_builds_. Actually, where can they find you? What are your social media? Like, when you want to drop some links here, man?
Sure. So I'm extremely social media illiterate, but I am on Instagram at geo_builds_ and YouTube, which is geobuilds. I'm trying pretty hard to get some pretty cool content out there for you guys. But that's basically where you're going to find me. If you ever need any help or ever want to chat, I'm just a DM away. I'm just really happy that I had this opportunity to hang out with you, Ario. This is a really good time.
The opportunity is for me, man. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys, and for coming in, Geo, to doing this show. I learned so much about you. More so that the thing is, like, I when we first chatted a couple of days ago, like live, I was like, yeah. this guy's cool. I like him. He has the same vibe as Brian. He has the same vibe as Ryan Lau, and that's what I think part of being not that I'm saying good builder, I'm talking about a decent human being. It's just so approachable. You are honest, like, I don't have all the answers, but I could try helping you. Very, very approachable that way, and just all around nice guy, dude. Thank you so much for coming in tonight. Do you have any final words for your audience here?
Yeah, man, make sure you give Ariel some love. Check him out on Mondays, Wednesdays, Saturdays at 9 p.m. right? AO Mecha Live. He's always doing something really good. Ariel's literally one of like the nicest guys that I've ever meet, and he takes his craft really seriously, and I think that's like a dying breed right now. So definitely, I appreciate all the time and effort that you put into just having me on your show and on your channel.
Dude, I would love to have you back again, man. You've been such a great guest, and I'm sure we will. I just want to say thank you for your time. Thank you for the audience. We're gonna stay for a bit, Geo, on the line. We'll talk to you after a little bit of the outro, and I'm gonna talk to these guys about the upcoming shows and the events. But yeah, say bye to everyone, Geo, and thank you for coming.
Take care, everyone. I'll catch you on the next one.
Awesome. Take care, Geo.
Bye.
All right, guys. Well, that was Feature Builder episode 48. Oh my God! Like, we're only a couple episodes left for season 1. I'm gonna take a couple of weeks hiatus. But yeah, Geo Builds, follow him. The links to his social media are on the description below. If this is your first time on my channel, thank you for coming in and hanging out with us. Hopefully you liked what we were talking about. There's more stuff to come. I can't wait to show you guys what I've been working on and continue working on during my break. That's what I'm actually going to do. I'm going to take a break to do some stuff. It's crazy fun stuff. This Monday coming up, 9 p.m. EST, we're going to do another feature builder. I'm getting them confused. Backlog builder episode, and we're going to build something from that pile over there. So that's going to be fun. 9 p.m. EST over at facebook.com and youtube.com/AOMecha. This show is powered by USA Gundam Store. Please check him out at usagundamstore.com and save when you use my discount code AOMecha10. What else can I show you guys? One more feature builder coming up next Saturday. I will reveal that on the Wednesday show. So again, stay tuned for that. Guys, I am so happy for all the support you guys have shown, for all the feature builders that have been on the show. Very, very nice individuals, and everyone here that have joined. So thank you guys for the continued support. Okay, that is it for me. Hopefully you guys are having a great weekend. Enjoy your time, and I'll catch you guys in the next streams. And take care for now. All right, see you guys. Have a good night.